how to change your life in 3 months. As someone who has felt like in the past that I've lived the same 3 months over and over and over, I make this video to hopefully share and help you, give you the tools and frameworks that you need to get out of that cycle, to break that loop. So by the end of this video, you'll understand our 4-step framework. The first step is getting an idea of where you're at. The second step is looking at how life could be. The third step is what you need to do to make that happen. And the fourth step is the most important, so I want you to stay around the end for that. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris Richardson. I'm a coach here at Life in Your Terms, and I make these videos to hopefully share my knowledge and my experience to help you change your ways quicker than I ever did. So with that being said, the first step in our framework is to stabilize or identify 1 to 3 things that you want to make changes in. Now you might be like, Chris, why so little? Why only 1 to 3 things? Because it's 3 months. You don't want to overdo it, because to make massive change and commit to it, it takes work. It's not easy. For example, if you're not happy with your health, to change your health may take you the entirety of the 4 months to build the habits, to understand how it works, and to actually get consistent with it will probably take you the full 3 months. But I guarantee if you want to change your health and if you've made a commitment to that, at the end of the 3 months, you'll feel like your life has been changed. I promise you that. So the first thing is to identify 1 to 3 things that you want to change. If they're as easy as going to the gym from 2 days a week to 4 days a week, maybe you can do 2 or 3 things. But if it's something like, hey, I want a new job, I want a new relationship, I want to go to the gym, then I encourage you to keep it to only 1 or 2 things. And if you're struggling to come up with areas that you want to change your life, I'd encourage you to take the balance wheel in the description below after this video, because it can give you a really good idea of what areas you want to make changes in. We got the professional, relationships, health, and resources on the balance area, with 3 subcategories that you could pick from and kind of see, oh, I really want to make changes there because I'm only a 2 out of 10 on the balance wheel. So it can be really helpful with that. So that's the first step, is to stabilize or identify the 1 to 3 things that you want to make changes within. Now, the second step within our framework is to visualize. Visualize what does amazing look like 3 months from now, specifically in the area that you want to change. So if you want to change your health because you're not happy the way you look or you're not happy with your energy levels, you need to look at what does amazing look like? What do you look like? What do you feel like? What do your energy levels look like? So you need to look at what does amazing look like in those areas in 3 months from now. Because once you do that, you've got your current state and then you've got your visualized state. And then you've got all this in between. And the cool thing is that leads us into our third step, because all this in between, we're going to close that gap by strategy. We're going to look at strategy and what actions or habits do you need to develop to be able to make that change. So within strategy, you need to look at, okay, so I'm not happy with my health. Well, what parts am I not happy with my health? Well, and when I visualize, I want to be 15 pounds lighter, and I want to sleep 8 hours a night so I have better energy. Great. So what actions do you need to take to make sure those things come a reality? Well, if you want to lose 15 pounds, you probably got to go to the gym 5 days a week and you got to eat these foods. And I would encourage you to make that the goal. Make the action-based processes the goal, not the outcome. Don't make losing 15 pounds the goal. Make, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week and I'm going to eat these foods the goal. Because at the end of the 3 months, even if you haven't lost 15 pounds, I bet you'll feel really good because you followed your action-based goals that you set. And that's what I encourage you to do. And also, if you want to sleep 8 hours a night as well, 8 hours a night could be seen as an outcome. There's a lot of actions that need to be taken to get that 8 hours. That's setting a consistent routine, not being on electronics an hour before bed, things like that. So strategy is the time that you find the actions, the input that you need to do to get your outcome or output that you want, and focus on the input and make those the goal. Because if you're consistent, you're disciplined with your input, you should feel really good. If you hit that like 100% of the time, you should feel really good regardless of the outcome, because the work is the goal. Great quote from Alex Hormozy. I just have to throw it in almost every video because I love it. So the work is the goal. Figure out your input and your strategy, because once you've figured out your input, it's time for the fourth step, which is execution. This is strictly focused on how do you execute and make the action and make the habits that you set out happen? How do you guarantee that you're going to go to the gym 5 days a week? How do you guarantee that you're going to make sure that you have a schedule so you can go to bed on time? How will you guarantee you will eat your meals? How will you guarantee that you execute upon the one thing that you want to change over these next 3 months? So what I would encourage you to look at is just for these 3 months, what barriers are going to stand in your way from your action and your habits that you want to take. So for the gym, it could be anything. I mean, it could be entertainment, it could be friends, it could be family, whatever. There's going to be so much that will stand in your way. Same thing with sleep. It's distractions, family, friends. All that stuff's going to stand in your way. How are you going to make sure to still balance those things, because they're still very important, but also get your goal, get your one thing you want to change? And what I would encourage you to do is identify those barriers and then do not quit. Do not quit, because so many people want to make change. They'll do it for a week or two and they stop. There's so many people in my life that I see around me. They say, hey, Chris, I'm going to make this massive change. And I'm like, dude, awesome, do it. And then after 2 weeks, nothing happens because they quit. So what I encourage you to do is that you're excited about it in the beginning, continue to grind on it. You're not always going to be excited. You're not always going to be happy about it, but I guarantee you at the end of 3 months, you stick with it, you will be excited and you will be happy. So now this is the end of the video. I encourage you to take the balance wheel in the description below, because that's going to highlight what you may want to change over the next 3 months. And if you'll like and subscribe, it really helps the channel.